I'm Mark Chalero, the owner of MS Classic Cars. Today I'm sitting behind the wheel of a very rare and very well-known 1970 Dodge Challenger RT 440, better known as the 70 Sunroof Challenger that was restored on Graveyard Carz TV show. This particular car is a true star, it was a fan favorite, and it's something I'm really, really proud of. To this presentation, the first thing that I'd like to mention is this is a non-rehearsed video. I'm sure throughout this presentation I am going to forget some of the things about this particular car. I would advise that you check out our website at msclassiccars.com. I've put together a very detailed description with all the information that I've gotten on this car. We also have some magnificent photos, as we do with all the vehicles that we list. If you have not been following MS Classic Cars, we would really appreciate it if you do. You will know that we only collect number 1 and number 2 condition vehicles. Our claim to fame is that we service every single vehicle that we sell. We document that work with an invoice that comes with every car. It was just a few weeks ago at an online auction that someone had made a comment and said to please stop saying that you're the only dealer to do this. And my response to that comment was, I'm going to continue to keep doing it until somebody else does it. And when somebody else does it, then I'll say I'm one of 2 or one of 3. The process that we put our cars through is like no other. We own a lot of vehicles within our collection. We have a very limited supply of available vehicles because of the process that we put them through. So be rest assured that this particular vehicle has been very well sorted out. It's documented. You can check out all the work we did. So if you buy this car, you will have absolutely no surprises. Now, getting into the presentation, I put together this really nice binder as I do with all the vehicles. This is a brand new binder. I put everything in plastic sleeves that I get with every single vehicle. All of this comes together for the new owner. The first thing I'd like to say is when I was investigating this car, I immediately reached out to a friend of mine who is an expert in the field. His name is David Weiss. He's the managing partner for this company called MMC Detroit. He is extremely experienced with Mopars. He's done many publications. He's constantly doing inspections across the country. Even during COVID, he's made his way to look at various cars and so forth because he's extremely dedicated, and he has an unbelievable archive of all different types of Mopars. So once again, I want to give a big shout out to David Weiss, who is a friend of mine, and he did create a report for this car. It's called the Weiss Vehicle Report. So that report is 58 pages long. It's very detailed. So this report will be pictured on our website in the gallery section with all of our photos. I am going to put it at the bottom of the gallery because it is 58 pages long, so anybody that wants to read all the information can do so. So again, I also would like to make one other comment, that I am not an expert in any particular make or model of any vehicle, although I do have a lot of experience with so many different makes and models. I always revert to the experts in the field, so this would be a great opportunity for me to give a shout out to people like Jerry McNeish, who does all of my Camaros and Chevelles and Novas. It would be another shout out for Roy Seiner, who does all of my Corvettes. Of course, David Weiss does all of my Mopars. Jim Madison and JB Madison from Pontiac Historical Society do all my Pontiacs. So again, anytime that I'm dealing with a vehicle, I always look out for the experts to give me true information so I can be very transparent when I'm advertising these cars. You got to be very, very careful in this industry of what goes on with certain makes and models. So, touching base about this particular car here, as David Weiss indicates in his report, I'm just going to read this one paragraph here. This is a 70 Dodge Challenger RT that was scheduled on the second day of production in 1970. It was an early production car. It was the 389th production to roll off the number 2 assembly line. It was originally sequenced as 2077 at the time of the printing of the broadcast sheet. I will make note, this car does have the original broadcast sheet, which some people would refer to as a build sheet, which tells all the options that the car had from the manufacturer. It says this vehicle has been professionally restored a few years ago. This vehicle is one of one in this high impact color and powertrain combination with a sunroof in the MMC Detroit Global Vehicle Registry. This vehicle was most likely used for a sales and marketing promotional vehicle based on its special order and highly optioned. So we already have something that is really cool, something that is an early production car, something that has the broadcast sheet, and it was used as a promotional vehicle simply because it has the factory installed sunroof, which I'm going to get into in a minute, and it does have a lot of great features, such as the color and a lot of the other things like power windows and so forth. So he went into, say, the overview of the features listed above. This car is a rare sunroof vehicle, code M51. It's highly optioned. It has the original broadcast sheet. It was, again, processed as a special handling car. Of course, it has a period correct 440, period correct torque flight 727, and so forth. Getting into the sunroof situation. We included this within our listing that we have within the gallery. I took pictures of all of this. This gentleman here, Scott Rouge, he actually created a sunroof registry for these Challengers. It's actually the 1970 Dodge Challenger factory Power sunroof cars. He goes into how these sunroofs were installed. The company was American Sunroof Corporation, and how the process worked. There was a total of 196 units in 1970 for Dodge Challengers that were shipped to the U.S. market. The base Challenger was 114. The RT Challenger, which is what this is, was 82. And then the Challenger TA was 3 known. So you're talking about 196 cars. Now, of those 196 cars, he has methodically gone through and verified all the cars over the years that have been sold or traded hands or whatever the case might be. This is a relatively limited number, somewhere probably around 30 to 35 is what I can gather here. Again, we only can document a few sales of these cars. They just actually sold a 71 Challenger at the Mecum auction in January of 2020. That vehicle was yellow. It had a 383. It was a really nice car. It was not as detailed as what this restoration was, and that vehicle sold like in the $130,000+ price range. So again, that was one that we could find. We also found one that sold at Barrett-Jackson, which is again documented in this registry here back in 2005. We're talking like almost 16 years ago. That vehicle sold for almost $100,000 way back then. So I highlighted our vehicle, which is right here in this Sunroof Challenger registry. It just states here, you know, what color it was, plum crazy, the engine combination. It says Graveyard Carz restoration. So again, that's included. Flipping forward here through this information, What I've done is I've found through Moparts, which is a website that has forums. They sell parts and discuss cars and so forth. I actually found some talk about this car prior to it being sold to Graveyard Carz, which was great. So I documented all of this information as well, which is included. There was pictures of the VIN tag, pictures of the trim tag prior to it, restoration point. There's actually a photo that is included within our gallery of this particular car. It was rolling out of the storage unit, which was really cool. So you could see tons of pictures of this car prior to the restoration to know that it was truly born with this sunroof. Also, the broadcast sheet, which I just mentioned. And another cool thing is this car was featured in this Chrysler Power magazine. I'll go ahead and pull this out now. Mark Warman, the owner of Graveyard Carz, actually signed the cover of it. This was actually an August 2013 issue. On one of the shows, again, this car aired on season 3. It was a fan favorite. He's holding up the magazine. He's actually talking about the spread that he got in the magazine being on the cover with his crew. And he went out. This is actually the first page of the spread here. He was talking about that. Here's a picture of this exact car. He actually signed this magazine where the car is located. This article was really just about a lot of the different stamps that can be found and some of the information regarding factory, sheet metal, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's another page which ends here. So we got a really good spread in this magazine. This magazine is included with the car. So moving on to the story. Again, this vehicle was in a storage unit. I don't have any information prior to that. Again, photos show it all. The vehicle was sold, obviously, to Mark Warman at Graveyard Carz. From the information that I gathered, the restoration started sometime probably 2012, 2013. It aired, I believe, in 2014. I have to go back and look at my notes of when it actually took place, but again, it was season 3. The car was the highlight of many segments. We've included some YouTube videos that show the episodes of when it was actually done, so you can see the entire crew, in the car, out of the car. You can kind of see pictures of it in the background, et cetera, et cetera. We also posted a ton of photos off of the Graveyard Carz Facebook page that they currently have listed. There's a few of those photos in particular that have been posted on their website, even currently over 30 times, because again, this car was such a fan favorite that they keep publicizing it. They have 3.4 million followers on Facebook, so you can only imagine the exposure that this car got. Once this car was completed, there's even pictures of it going inside their enclosed trailer, which is a clear enclosed trailer. They kind of do that from a marketing and sales standpoint with all the cars that they finish. We included those photos within our picture gallery as well. The car actually came back to Graveyard Carz. It was around that 2014-15 time frame. I've got it all documented within our description. And the reason the car came back, they named the episode The Return of the 70 Sunroof Challenger, was because the motor that they had installed in the car had some serious issues. They showed that motor coming out of the car. They went on, they purchased another engine for the car, a day-coded correct 440, which is what this is. They built it, they got it as a long block, they built it, they documented all that on the show, reinstalled it into the car, and that's kind of where the car made its second debut, if you will. Cool story on that. When I was researching the information on this car, I actually found on Moparts the engine based on the serial number from the gentleman who actually had it advertised for sale. And when I contacted him, because his phone number was listed, his name is Joe, super nice guy, had a really great conversation with him. He said, yeah, Mark, that car, that engine, and that was sold to Mark Warman at Graveyard Carz. So I was able to kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together. I included that in here as well. So again, all the information that I've got with this vehicle is included in this binder. So I thought that was definitely worth sharing. So this is a car that is a one-of-one One of one meaning that it has a sunroof, it has a high impact color. This is one of the most desirable colors you can get in a Mopar, and this is a 440 car, so it is definitely a one of one. How many Sunroof Challengers are out there? We'll truly never know. We know exactly how many were built. The gentleman did a great job, with the registry of documenting. Obviously, there's less than, right now that everybody knows about, 35 or so. So this is extremely, extremely rare. It's a great opportunity. And if you think about it, some people might think, what's such a big deal about a sunroof? But if you go back into this time frame, into the 60s and early 70s, you ask yourself, how many of these muscle cars, Camaros, Chevelles, whatever the case might be, Mustangs, how many vehicles were made with power sunroofs? It was definitely a very modern thing. It was kind of a new thing that they were doing. And to orchestrate all this was a lot of effort on the manufacturer's behalf. So to find a car that was originally a sunroof car all these years later is like finding a needle in a haystack. Again, I'm super, super proud of this particular car. So moving on to the exterior of the vehicle. The other day what I did is I walked around the entire vehicle. I would say that it's virtually flawless. I mean, if I got really, really picky, I'm sure I could find the tiniest little imperfection, but the outside of this car is in beautiful condition. I will say that the body shell, including the rear quarters, with exception of the trunk pan, is original. They stated that right on Graveyard Carz Facebook post when somebody had asked. So the hood, the fenders, the doors, those were replaced during the restoration, but the actual core body shell is original. The car does have the original VIN tag. It has the original trim tag, which is on the fender. It also has the original body stamp on the cowl here, which is the VIN number on the cowl. It also has the VIN number stamp on the radiator support as well. So all of that is in place. At Graveyard Carz, just from what I've seen in the past, they do a super, super nice job with their body work and their paint. Definitely give a shout out to the painter there. He does great work. So I would say that this car is very, very straight. All the gaps are excellent. The hood opens and closes nice. So does the doors. So does the trunk lid. So again, the body is really, really nice on this car. The paint job is absolutely beautiful. As I said before, it's virtually flawless. MS Classic Cars has done a really good job of detailing the exterior. It's got a really nice shine to it. Definitely show quality for sure. All of the glass in the vehicle during the restoration was obviously replaced. The windshield is brand spanking new. The side glass, the quarter glass, and the rear glass is original glass, so it does show some signs of aging, as you would expect with original glass. As far as all of the trim everywhere, the trim is in really nice condition. I would say it was definitely restored. The door trim that is on top of these doors and on the rear quarters does show a little bit of aging. I would probably say of everything on the vehicle that's not perfect show quality is the door trim here, some of the window trim, and the remaining glass. All stuff that somebody down the road could replace if they truly wanted to. Everything on the exterior of this vehicle, talking about the wipers, the antenna, talking about the headlights, the bumpers, all the emblems, the mirror, things like this. All these things were replaced new and look absolutely beautiful. The car sits on the 15-inch rally wheels. They're a great looking wheel. Those wheels are wrapped with Firestone 60 oval tires. Those are the exact wheels and tires from when the TV show was being aired. So again, they fit the car really nicely. The car's got a great stance. Definitely eye candy when you look at this particular car with its great design and great color combination. Getting into the interior. And before I forget to mention too, this car was obviously born plum crazy, so it does retain its original color. Getting into this interior here. This interior is absolutely in beautiful condition. Everything in this interior was completely restored. Again, a lot of that was done on the show. You can reference some of the links that we sent. I will make a comment regarding the headliner. These headliners, because these were done outside of the factory and then sent back to the factory, these headliners were never perfect. So they did it exactly like it was done. They did a super job, especially over in the corners. They did all of this here, which looks really, really nice. Integrated the sunroof. At MS Classic Cars, we spent a lot of time with this sunroof to make sure it functions properly, so it's in great working order. I'm not 100% sure who did the interior. It might have been Larry from Larry's Interiors, because he's the one who did the black vinyl top, which I forgot to mention a minute ago. I also forgot to mention, obviously, that there's black on the hood, there's black around the rear of the car, which matches this vinyl top as well. But I know for sure that he did the vinyl top. I'm only assuming that maybe he did the headliner as well, but I got to give a big shout out to who did this headliner, because it's not an easy thing to do when you do something that's not, there necessarily when it's during its production cycle. Getting into this rest of this interior, the dash pad is absolutely brand new, looks beautiful. The gauges have all been redone, they're all like new. All of this wood fascia here is in beautiful condition. The current odometer on this vehicle is 338, so it's been driven 338 miles since it was restored. Again, all of the gauges are working. We went through all of this at MS Classic Cars. The heat in this vehicle works. Even the clock works. We did replace the steering wheel at MS Classic Cars because the steering wheel that was in here was really kind of cracked and so forth, so we put on this rim blow steering wheel. You heard me beep the horn earlier. I'll beep it again later. That's in working order. Again, I can't say enough about this interior. The door panels are new. The remote mirror works. The power windows work. That was another thing that we had to really sort out at MS Classic Cars, but it's got power windows, which is great. The simulated wood on the door panels is like new. The center console is in beautiful condition. It also has the simulated wood on there as well. Again, these bucket seats have all been redone. They're super comfortable. They've been refoamed. The back seats as well. The rear panels. It's equipped with seat belts, both front and rear. Everything in this interior is in working order, including the dome light, all the interior lights, etc., etc. The only thing that's not working in here is the stereo. That's the only thing that, obviously it's got that 8-track deal, and the stereo that is not working. If somebody really wants that to work, they can take it out and, maybe have it sent somewhere to be restored, or wherever the case might be. Or they can add an aftermarket radio and tuck it somewhere in the vehicle hidden so it's not visible. It doesn't throw off that authentic look. Even the carpets in this were replaced. You can see within our photo gallery why the car was under restoration. You can see how beautiful all of the work was done on the dash, the floors, and things like that. And to finish the interior here, you will see in our photo gallery that the entire crew from Graveyard Carz during the season 3 when this car aired, they signed all of this. I listed each person's signature within our description, so they signed that. Why we're talking about signatures, when we look at the rear trunk compartment, which is obviously fully restored, it was all painted the body color. They did this car very correct. I wouldn't say it's super correct in the sense that it can go to a show tomorrow and be judged, but I would say that they did a lot of this car as correct as they could. And so all of that was painted back there. It's got the spare saver, it's got the tools, it's got the correct style trunk mat in the back, but behind the trunk lid, they signed there as well, so we have pictures of that in our gallery. So it's pretty cool that they signed the dash pad and they signed the back underneath the deck lid as well. So I want to make sure I mention that. Getting into the engine compartment. The engine compartment in this car, again, was done very correctly. It's all painted as it should be in the plum crazy color, which looks great. Everything was done very correctly. Again, this motor is a date coated. It's a 440, 375 horse Magnum. It's a great motor. We've dialed it in MS Classic Cars. Again, you can see all that information on our invoice. It's got a lot of correct parts in there. On David Weiss's report, we went and took pictures of a lot of the different pieces in the engine compartment that he listed as far as parts are concerned, things like that. The engine is actually coupled to a 727 TorqueFlite automatic transmission. Again, this is a date-coated automatic transmission. So again, the car runs great, it sounds great, it drives great. We've gone through it methodically. in the service department to make sure it provides the new owner a lot of pleasure down the road. And last but not least is the undercarriage. You will see within our photo gallery how beautiful the undercarriage is. Everything in the undercarriage was restored, from the power steering system and all the components to the braking system. Matter of fact, when the wheels were off, we had taken some pictures of what the brakes actually looked like and everything. They were done so nicely. You know, we were really proud of that. Also, all of the suspension that's underneath the car, the exhaust system, the fuel tank, everything was basically done to really high standards. This is definitely a car at a car show you could put mirrors underneath and be very proud of. So once again, I hope I covered everything about the car. I know sometimes these videos can be a little bit long, maybe boring, but it's really important if somebody's looking at buying a vehicle from us that I start with everything I can think of and finish with everything I can think of to make sure that it's as transparent as possible. This is a super rare car. It's something I'm super proud of. We don't get a lot of Mopars here. I love Mopars. Hopefully down the road I can find more of these cars that fit the mold at MS Classic Cars. I appreciate you watching this video. We appreciate if you sign up for our VIP email blast to get notifications and updates of what we're doing here at MS Classic Cars. We also appreciate if you follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. Again, we really, really appreciate it. MS Classic Cars is going in a great direction. We got a really good thing going here, and we really appreciate all of the interest from people like you that are watching this video. So once again, thank you so much. Super proud of this car. Visit our website at msclassiccars.com. I'm going to go ahead and start it right now. Let you listen how beautiful it runs. Fires right up. Absolutely purrs like a kitten. You can see how nice it idles. Appreciate you watching.